Welcome everybody to the dAIEDGE third open call for collaborative projects webinar 2. This webinar will be recorded. Today we have with us Miguel de Prado, a dAIEDGE technical partner that will introduce you to the project and also answer to some technical questions. And also Veronica, the open call manager, that will guide you on how to apply and also answer to some questions you may have. Without further ado, I can pass the word to Miguel.
Thank you. Welcome to the third open call webinar to explain how you can apply to the open call. And before that, I will give a small introduction to the project. Can you please go to the next slide? All right, so dAIEDGE is a network of excellence about artificial intelligence at the edge. And we try to do this on a distributed, trustworthy, efficient, and scalable way. We are 36 partners divided between academia and industry, and we are present in 15 different countries throughout Europe. We have a budget of about 40 million for the total of the project. Next slide, please. So, no, just one before. There we go. So dAIEDGE, as I said before, it's part of the network of excellence. So the network of excellence on artificial intelligence is something that the European Commission is pushing forward so that we all work in a coordinated way towards the same objectives, which is incrementing the use of artificial intelligence at the European level and making an ecosystem of different tools and programs. So in this case, dAIEDGE is just the lighthouse for distributed AI at the edge, as we just discussed, but there is other flavors of artificial intelligence on different topics. Like for instance, Robin is for robotics, human AI, as it says directly, is to connect human and AI in a nice way, something that is human-centric. We also have for media, ELSA, which is about security and safety, and other ones that are more with green energies as well. So we all work together so that we can push the boundaries of artificial intelligence, but just by coordinating, we can pursue objectives that we couldn't do ourselves alone. We try to bring the community together into this project so that we can all profit from this. Next slide, please. So dAIEDGE has several objectives. The first one is scientific progress. So we try to push the boundaries of the research on artificial intelligence at the edge. So we do some foundational research about different algorithms, software frameworks, and hardware platforms. And we can do this on device, but also on distributed solutions as well. And hybrid modes where we can go all the way in the compute continuum from low power devices to high-end embedded devices to finally edge or sort of cloud edge computing as well. We try to disseminate these or all the activities that we do with the community. One of the main goals is to create a community that can uplift the project. And we prepare and organize several events where we share and disseminate some of the ideas, but also to listen to the community, what they think. They have all their ideas that we can also take on board and then implement as well. We try to lead by demonstration. So when we go to those events, we try to showcase some of the pilots that we have. We're mostly working on 3 different pilots, which is the smart city, smart warehouse, and the satellite so that we can do some Earth observation. So in these ones, we try to demonstrate some of the research that we do and try to implement that and then bring this to the community so that they have some feedback as well. We also have a virtual lab as an infrastructure. So a virtual lab is a federation of, I would say, infrastructure, yes. So we are creating the reference node, and this node is mostly done for benchmarking. So we can benchmark different AI models on hardware platforms. And this is being made as an reference mode so that it could be replicated by other different or anyone that wants to join the federation and then integrate their own nodes so that we can extend the community and benchmark on many heterogeneous different platforms. And finally, we also have the strategic research agenda, which is we will provide the vision and the roadmap to the European Commission. so that they can use this in future years to organize open calls or European projects around the ideas that we will share with them. And hopefully they will take them, and then we can progress on this side based on the vision that we have. Next slide, please. All right, so I will take this last slide and then pass to Veronica. So in dAIEDGE, we had 3 open calls. The first one was about exchange programs, so where some PhD students could go abroad and do some research with other labs. This was done last year, the open call, and they started early this year. So some of the projects are still ongoing, and they will provide, or they will research through some topics and then provide the results at some point. And finally, we have the second and the third open call, which are collaborative projects. The first one was launched early this year, and they will start this week, actually, or next week. And the idea here in these collaborative projects is that we offer some challenges, and you as open call takers, you can apply basically, and then try to solve this project. So today we will explain the third open call, and for that I let Veronica take the word.
Okay, thank you, Miguel. Right, so this is the third open call. There won't be any more. This is your last chance to make sure that you take the most of it. So my name is Veronica, and I am the open call manager. And one of the first news that I would like to give you is that usually we do not extend the deadlines of the open calls, but in this case, it has been extended by just 1 day. So you'll be lucky to have 24 extra hours. This message has not been announced yet on the on the open call through the system, but anybody who has created a draft application or anything like that will be sent a personalized message saying that please take into account that this open call has been extended by 24 hours. So this is just fresh, off the press news, and it will be updated very soon, either by the end of this week or very early next week, to make sure that everybody receives that message. And in terms of how long you need to wait until we get the results, it takes a while to sift through 200 or nearly 300 applications. So we're only going to be awarding 10, right? As we said, 10 projects. So it is quite competitive. So the first phase will be eligibility check and pre-scoring. This is quite quick. It's done automatically. You will hear quite soon from us if you've gone through this first phase. Then the expert evaluation. Every project is being read by 2 independent evaluators, experts in the field, and they provide their opinion. So that takes a while as well. So that will be in November. And then by the very end of November, we are going to have something that's called jury days. And it was introduced in this open call. It was not done before. And I will explain to you a little bit later how that works. So I finished on the dates. So the dates have been extended already. And as I said, there is no other way to send the documents. So can we send additional documents by email? No, we cannot accept it. It has to be the form. Everything has to be, exactly the same rules for all of the applicants. So, and also it's too time consuming to be going through any additional documents. And we had a question about graphs, and this is a simplified model of, a proposal. This is not a big horizon project where you have, 50 pages of a document. These fields in the application form, they really tell you 2,000 characters, including spaces. So you really need to be really, really precise. So what you can do is provide the description of the graph. Usually you accompany a graph with the description. So you just provide whatever you're trying to explain. And then if you want to provide a link to maybe an external file, but we cannot guarantee that the evaluators will have time to look at that. extra information. So just try to be really down to the point and include it in the text, okay, format as much as you can. About the benefits. So in this open call, of course, I know most of you are here for the money, right? So we are offering 60K and a support program of up to 7 months. You will have technical mentoring from the dAIEDGE experts that are part of the consortium. As you saw, we have big names in the field of AI research in Europe, and you will be very well supported. Please make sure that you aim for the top amount of the grant, and because then that might be not easy to then change afterwards. So we might need to take the amount that you put in the application form as whatever you are asking for. Okay, so just go for the top amounts that you want to receive. Please also pay attention that this is a lump sum model, okay? So you will get the first payment about, after only 1 month of work. So the second month you will get a small prepayment, but that's only 9K. And then you will need to have sufficient cash flow to implement the project during the following 6 months from, whatever savings you have, or if you have, I don't know, a loan or whatever, with the promise that we don't promise, right? But you need to promise that you will deliver the results. And if you deliver the results, only then you will get the payment. And that will happen, after the 7 months. So just keep that in mind, that you need to have sufficient cash flow, especially if you're a small company and you will need to hire extra, AI specialists to work on it, then you need to take that into account. The types of entities that we are accepting are research and technology organizations, so typical research institutes, academia, or SMEs. You can apply individually or as a consortium. If you applied as 2 organizations, you need to split the 60K between yourselves, depending on how much work each is doing, okay? If one is just providing, I don't know, HPC, and the other one is doing most of the programming and, the testing and all that, then that needs to be reflected in the budget. And also it needs to complement the skills, right? So it's not like, oh, we're applying with these people because they're like, I don't know, nice, and we're super friends, but it needs to make sense from the implementation point of view, okay? There is no extra points for applying as a consortium, and we don't have any matchmaking. So also there's one aspect I wanted to let you know about, is that you can have multiple applications, okay? So you can have up to 3 different proposals, but they each need to be about a different challenge. So you need to have 3 novel ideas in very different contexts. But if you are one of the lucky ones and you get pre-selected for the 3 of them, only the highest scoring one will be able to receive the funding. You cannot be funded more than once. So you will not get 3 projects funded, only one if you're pre-selected. Out of the list of countries, please pay attention to the fact that New Zealand and Switzerland are not eligible in this open call. And there are some official guidelines in the guide for applicants that tells you the list of countries that are eligible. If one partner is from, I don't know, Spain, and the other one is from a country that is not eligible, then your whole project will be not eligible, okay? So both countries need to be eligible, even if one of them says, oh, we just want to take part, or we don't want to ask for any money. That would be against the rules. So both partners need to be eligible, even if they're willing to execute without funding. We also had a question if you would be interested in discussing collaboration or supporting projects that are market ready. So they're like TRL 8 or nearly 9. And unfortunately, this open call is it's based on a much earlier development. So we are looking for TRL 2 or 3. So it is beyond just an idea that you have. Maybe you have done some small trials already in this topic. You have like a good developed idea, but you just need the extra money to actually pay somebody to develop this. Then this might be the ideal project for you, because it's from going TRL 2, 3 to 4 to 5. Okay, so we're not looking to go from 0 to the market in 6 months, because we know that's not feasible. As I said, if you're pre-selected for more than one project, can you choose which one's like, actually, we would prefer that one. As per the guidelines, we need to select the top scoring one. Okay, so there's no chance to kind of like select which one you prefer, but it will be the one that scored higher, because it's fair against all of the other applicants. Okay. One key aspect is also that the dAIEDGE consortium partners or affiliated entities, board members or employees or permanent collaborators cannot be beneficiaries of the dAIEDGE open call. So because we're accepting academia, I know some institutions are like huge organizations, and maybe you are not even aware that there's this conflict of interest. So just do your due diligence. Okay, go through the list of partners of the dAIEDGE, check with whatever department you need to check in your organization. Maybe just reach out to many people and say, can we confirm that there's no conflict of interest here? Because I don't want to waste my time, applying for this open call, and it turns out that we're not eligible because a partner is already collaborating in this, in dAIEDGE, maybe in other tasks, in other work packages. It's a big project with over 35 partners, so it might happen. Okay. Can an applicant, when required, send their gender equality plan by email or some other way? So the question, the answer is no, because in general, the gender equality plan needs to be a public document. So it should be published on your website somewhere. It has to be public. So it needs to be a URL. Please also make sure that it's up to date. Okay. That it's in force at the moment of applying. So it's still valid for 2025, okay? Are there any additional points for applying as a consortium? As I said, no, but it must be justified as an advantage. It implies explaining the budget, how you're going to divide it, and also how the tasks will be distributed between the different partners. And one of the partners will be the GEP is actually, if you're from an organization that is a public body, you will know when you need to have a GEP, okay? It's also explained in the guide for applicants. So you need to check that. So the gender equality plan is only for public institutions and academia and research institutions, okay? Because when you're involved in research, there's a lot of ethics and there's a lot of, gender issues. For academia, can I apply if I'm still a PhD candidate? The short answer is yes. Please remember that this is not an open call for individual applicants, okay? So we're not accepting natural persons or just one person. This is a project for 60K, 6 months. It's not just one person that's going to be working on the project, okay? You will need to have like a team of maybe 2 developers or 1 full-time research, lead, and then 2 part-time programmers or something like that, okay? So it's not going to be a solo flying project. And you can apply if you're a PhD candidate as academia, right? So not yourself, or if you're a PhD candidate, but you also have your own company, then you can apply as an SME. Just make sure that you fit with one of the categories that we're accepting. And I'm assuming here that you mean academia. So you need to consult, of course, with your university and see how that works, because it's the institution that signs the subgrant agreement. So if you apply as a PhD candidate of a certain university, you need to make sure that the university is willing then to sign the contract on your, for this project. And also sometimes, depending on the conditions of if you have a PhD like research grant, if it's compatible with other grants. So, there's a lot of questions that you need to do your due diligence. We try to give you all of the documents. So there is a subgrant agreement, also template. I think it's from the second open call that's available, but you can see all of the conditions of the contract and maybe consult with your university about that. Do we provide help finding a partner to apply it as a consortium? No, because it's not a condition, okay? So it's optional to be a consortium. So if you have somebody already in mind, then go ahead and apply together. Maybe it will make your proposal stronger. But because it's not obligatory, we don't do much making because it's, it's not a condition. How does the funding have to be distributed between partners and consortium? It should correspond to the involvement. Okay, so it can be 50-50 if that's the way you have split the work. It can exceed 60K slightly, but the maximum, so you can say we are planning, maybe from our own funds to, exceed the 60K, but we are asking for 60K from dAIEDGE, but always be kind of like close to that 7 months mark and the 60K mark, because that's the idea of the projects being complete. Does the support program have to start immediately after being selected, or can it be postponed? In this particular open call, because the dAIEDGE project in general is finishing, will be like completely closed by the end of September next year, actually August officially. We really need you to start the project in January and finish by the 30th of July, because that will give us 1 month for you to, submit all of the reports, get them accepted by the mentors, and then process the payment. So we will not allow postponing, and there will be very, very little room for, request for an extension, because I mean, there's no time left. Is there any co-funding for this open call? No, as I said, this open call operates under the lump sum model. So you are getting only money for the parts that you've already delivered. Okay, so if it's divided in 2 parts, so first one is just planning. If you've done your planning and you've delivered the mentoring plan, you will get your payment. And afterwards, when you've delivered the final report and it's validated, it's accepted by the selection committee, then you will get your final payment. So that's how some lump sum model works. You can research about a little bit more about that online if you have many, more detailed questions, but there's lots of examples. About the scope, somebody asked, what is the expected success rate? So I can tell you that the second open call was very popular. And this one is following a similar trend. We have, we will have probably 250 plus like drafted applications, out of which I'm not sure how many will submit, but probably over 100. So, the success rate can be anywhere between 2 and 10%. So it's quite competitive, but we had very, very high quality applications in the last open call. So it's really good to see this level of innovation in Europe. And in terms of the scope of the open call, of course, you need to decide which challenge, right, you're going to apply to, because it's a closed list. There's 13 challenges. Last time we had 20. And this one they've changed. There's 13 different ones. And you need to really read them very carefully and just see if, your your project fits into one of them. And actually, every challenge is, excuse me, explained, provides you quite a lot of detail of what we are expecting from you, like a short description, the deliverables. There are some references for you to like data sets and articles, very technical specifications, what are the expected results, what deliverables we're expecting from you. So you have quite a lot of detail to match, the particular challenge. And I think Miguel would like to explain now one of the challenges. I don't know if it moved or if it didn't. Can you see the PDF or not?
Yes,
Yes.
it's on challenge 10. Maybe if you can go to 14, I
I'll
think.
go to 4. Yeah. So let's go to challenge 4. So this is 4 here.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. So as Veronica was explaining before, this is the template for the challenges. So usually we have a short description. First of all, the name. In this case, it's high performance Bayesian-based agents for embedded intelligence in smart environments. You have a description about what this challenge is about. So you can go and read each of the challenges so that you can apply for the one that's more suitable for you. Then you have expected deliverables in terms of implementation. And can you go a bit down, Veronica, please? And then as well as evaluation, deployment, and demonstration. For example, in this case, we have some guidelines about what needs to be implemented, and then how it should be evaluated so that when you write your report, everything is clear and some milestones that you need to achieve so that you can get your payment at the end of the open call. In general, the implementation and evaluations, since the TRL is still fairly low, they can be adjusted in case some of the implementations didn't go the way they should, or maybe through some research, it was clear that it wasn't right in that sense. So we can still adapt so that you get to some work that can be developed properly and also evaluated so that you get the payment at the end of your project. But just as a guideline, you have here for the different challenges, what should be done and what platforms should be deployed, and then some bonus in some cases, just in case you want to do some extra. So it's very important in the application that you reflect some of these implementation details or evaluations or the platforms, for instance, where they should be deployed, because general applications are okay, but sometimes, for instance, when I've been reviewing some of those applications, I have the feeling that you could write an application for many different challenges just by changing a few keywords. So that is not what it should be. It should be a bit more oriented to specific challenges with specific details about how you aim to develop a solution for this specific challenge. Okay, so have that in mind so that you can get higher score. Can you scroll down a little bit, please? Then you have some references in case you want to read a bit more about the papers, but also something that is quite welcome is if you are already an expert or have some expertise in the field. So if you just want to apply for a new challenge where you don't have a lot of experience, that's always welcome and nice, but probably you have less chances to get it accepted. So if you can provide in the section about what was the name, the first one, Veronica, forgot about it, the excellence section.
Excellence, yeah.
Thank you. Then you can provide your expertise about some of the work that you've done, but just in case here we provide also some extra papers that might be useful to develop some ideas or some implementation beforehand, so you can explain that in the application as well. Can you scroll down a little bit? So you will also find a diagram. So in this case, you have a diagram of some agents that can read some data from the sensors. They can then be deployed, and then you can work with some simulated environments so that you can get the feedback, and then you can go on like this in agentic form. Then we have the requisites or requirements. Some of them are mandatory, like in this case, it should be open source, and also needs to be demonstrated in some simulated environments just because of the way agents work. It needs to be a bit more, have this feedback from the environment so that we can have this iteration or closed loop implementation. And then also some are preferential, like maybe we give you some details about what frameworks could be used. But again, this is needs to be evaluated by you. You can also propose some new preferences or some new ideas. And then if they are suitable, they could be accepted as well. We have the KPIs as well, as you can see there. So that's a high level KPIs. So in terms of performance, it should be at least 2x faster. Also keep the accuracy and then also reduce the energy efficiency. That depends a lot, of course, on the challenge. So all the challenges will have some different metrics, but this is mostly what it will be evaluated at the end of the project if you were able to meet those KPIs. And that's pretty much. So you can go through the different examples and then or challenges. And if you have some questions, you can always write to us and we'll try to answer the best we can.
Yes, thank you, Miguel. Right, let's go back to the presentation. So one of the questions was, can you propose a different challenge? And at this time, there is no kind of like open category of other challenges. This is to make sure that you get the best kind of support towards the end during the support program from the mentors. So everything is aligned with their expertise, and then you will get, the support in that challenge. Can we advise which challenge best fits your project? To an extent, yes, we can help you understand the challenge better, but please don't send like your proposal or the main concept to the help desk and say, does that fit? I mean, it's kind of your job to read the description of the challenge and I think I have an idea that answers this challenge. So we are able to maybe help you understand the challenge better, but we can't really give you a definitive decision that yes, it's definitely within the scope. We also had a question about like contacting directly the person who proposed this challenge from the consortium. And we don't provide that information, but if you have like a very specific technical questions that the open call team is not able to answer, we always forward this message to the technical partner who actually proposed this challenge, so you get the answer from the horse's mouth. There are some articles that are linked in some of the challenges, and they should be mostly available on open access. But if it's not, just let us know and we'll see if we can provide maybe some kind of access to it. But they should be mostly open access, and I think they've been added to the dAIEDGE website under some links, so you can just root through the dAIEDGE website and find it. Learning how to apply. I want to go through this a little bit because it has changed from the last open call. We have moved to another platform, and it might be a little bit more complicated for some, but usually it's like we haven't had any like very negative opinions, and people tend to love this new platform that we're using. It's still provided by Fundingbox, so it's not like a commercial one. So once you visit the third open call website, which is here, you have the apply button, and also what's important to visit the read first to make sure that you read the guide for applicants in detail. What's also different about this open call is that we are not going to be doing the in and out of scope screening. So we have done something automatic, which is called pre-scoring. So there are some questions in the application form where we ask you, for examples about the experience background, we ask you how many years of experience does your team have? So you count how many years the experts have been in the field, and then you answer. And based on that, you are scored higher or lower, depending on what we're looking for, right? The experience in AI, dedication to the project, so also how many AI experts will be working on this project. Will be just one person, or it will be just two, maybe IT developers, but not highly skilled. Then it will be scored based on that also, so that we can only get, you know, the top scoring ones, because it's going to be quite competitive. Then in the main evaluation, the external experts will be looking at these three sections. So please, this is the meat and potatoes of your application, for pay attention to this. And if you decide to use AI tools, just make sure that it's not, you know, just generic yapping, blah, blah, blah. It has to be very to the point and actually answer the challenge, and not like be really generic and then you just copy paste to this. So we're not saying, you know, this is an AI project, so we're not discouraging you to, you know, maybe polish whatever you've written. One of the good ways is just to shorten everything, because the space is very limited. But just make sure that you know, you're down to the point when in these three sections especially. And also what's new is that after with the scores from the independent evaluators, we will invite the top scoring applicants to a jury day. So it will be like an online, you know, elevator pitch. So you'll have 5 minutes to present your project, and then there'll be some questions from the jury. And based on that, they will, you know, give you a score on what's the team vision, if you have a clear idea of how this will improve your overall performance of, you know, of the company and so on. So you will be scored on these three criteria. And it's really great to actually meet, you know, kind of face to face, even though it's online, but it's nice to meet the applicants as well. In terms of what happens if you are selected, so as I mentioned, this the support program, oh sorry, this is one of the problems with the presentation. Sorry, it's all over the place, but I will talk you through it. So going back again, the eligibility check is quite quick, so it will happen in October. Once we close, it will be fast. And the pre-scoring as well, it's done on the platform. So within a week or so, you will have the answer if you're going to the expert evaluation. That will take place in November, and the jury days will be in late November. So we have pre-booked kind of around 28th of November for the jury days. So just keep that in mind. Don't book a great holiday if you have huge hopes to be awarded. And the results will be announced in December, in time for Christmas. Hopefully you'll have some great gift to announce to your teams in December. So as I said, the support program must start soon after we sign the agreement with you. So most likely in, you know, January, late January maybe, but we need to start by that month. The implementation cannot be postponed. It has to happen right after the planning phase. As I said, the dAIEDGE project is finishing, so we are on a tight schedule here. And the lump sum model, again, you can go through it. There are many explanations provided by the European Commission about the lump sum, but it's not based on the reimbursement of your expenses. So we don't check if you've spent the money, how you've spent it, but you present your budget with the plan, and we say, yes, it makes sense. We accept the plan if it's, you know, if it's feasible and makes sense. And if you deliver the work, then we say it's okay. Then you get paid. So it's quite simplified. And if you need to have any financial reporting, you need to check with, you know, your local regulations. But here it's quite simplified. If you deliver the results, you get the payment. The milestones and reviews will be done in like a few steps. Once you deliver the results, The technical partner will review it, who is your mentor. Then it will go through the selection committee approval, and only then the payment will be released. You can read about these, what we are looking at. So the deadline compliance is about 10%. Technical performance is 60%. So you need to, deliver what you promise, and the quality of deliverable. You need to be able to present your results as well. Again, as I said, this open call has moved to another platform, and when you click the apply button, you will be taken to our platform called OnePass, and you can sign in with just Google or LinkedIn or any other email that you choose to do, and you need to press like apply 2 more times, and just fill out the application. Just make sure that you wait for this field here to show up, because sometimes it lags for like a half a second. So just don't start a new application every time, just edit the existing one. And what's good about this platform, it gives you like an option to review and submit the application. So it just gives you all of the different points where maybe you're missing some information and you haven't filled it out properly, so it will not let you submit it. So it should be, kind of foolproof, that you will not be able to submit it unless everything is kind of okay, but you need to make sure that you don't have like lorem ipsum in some of the fields and you forgot to, copy the text that you've been working on. So the final tips is to ask yourself if this open call fits your project, and also how you can fit into the open call. Remember, your proposal will be evaluated by humans, not AI. So write, a winning proposal with that in mind, and submit your proposal ahead of time. Don't wait until the last minute, because, sometimes it's humans against the machines, and we don't want that to happen. So let's take the questions now from the chat in the Q&A.
Yes, I see we have some questions. I'll go for the first one. Do you have to apply for the call with online documents, where we'll have a draft that we can keep modifying until the 14th?
Yes, when you have the draft, even after you submit it, you can still continue to edit it after up until the deadline.
Thank you. As an SME, we are currently doing our AI first step research with a university partnership. This will be our basis going forward. Can this be included as part of the process?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. I think I would need more context to answer that, but can you read that again, the second part?
Sure. I'll read again slowly.
Okay.
As an SME, we are currently doing our AI first step research with a university partnership. This will be our basis going forward. Can this be included as part of the process?
I don't know, to be honest. I would need more context. So if you have more complex question, just please write to the help desk, okay?
From January, what is the time deadline for the project?
So the project goes on for 7 months. So you have January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So by the end of July, everything has to be delivered.
Thank you. I see a comment, but I'm not sure if it's related to the earlier question. The comment says to set up the POC first. So maybe if it's the same person, you could.
Okay, so you need to do a proof of concept. I'm not sure. Miguel, do you know of the difference?
Yeah, maybe it can be set up for the excellence part. You can describe what you're intending to on some of the POC that you have or you are working on with the collaborator company or university, and then just describe that in the excellence part.
Yeah, or like a reference to yeah, what you've done already, or like what's the wider plan and how that fits in, right? Okay. Any more questions?
No, I don't see any other questions.
No? Okay, so it looks like we've answered most of the questions. I saw there was a text question, is public GEP mandatory to be eligible? So it's only eligible if you are the type of entity that should have GEP, okay? So these are any institutions that are involved in teaching and research, so academia and research organizations, and sometimes some types of NGOs, if one of your core activities is research and the sharing of knowledge, for example. But SMEs usually don't have GEP, although I know that in many places, like in Spain, there's lots of small, medium companies that actually have gender equality plans. So if you have one, you can include it, but I think it's only conditional for the academia and the RTOs, okay?
Thank you. I see another question. Can an SME from Northern Ireland apply, registered in UK?
Yes, UK is eligible in this open call, yes.
Thank
you.
No more questions. I don't know.
No more questions? Okay. So we have finished ahead of the time. As you know, there is another webinar already recorded and available to you if you want to watch that. And this also has been recorded. We'll try to merge the two videos that got cut off there, and post it on our YouTube channel and provide the link to everyone who registered for this webinar. And just keep an eye for the update of the guide for applicants, okay? Because since the deadline has been extended, we need to send you like an official message that the deadline has been extended. So just pay attention to your inbox if you get a message from funding box, okay, about it. But it's just one day extra for you to submit your project. Miguel, any other words of wisdom?
No, that's all from my side as well.
Okay, thank you. So, and I think we can close it, right? Or is there any new questions?
Just a quick question, asking the deadline to the extension.
Yeah. So it was 14th of October, now it's 15th. Okay, so it was 14th, now it's 15th. So one day extra.
One day. I think that's it.
Okay, so thank you all for being here and good luck with your applications. If you have further questions, please reach out to the help desk and, get going because it's only 2 weeks left, and just don't forget to submit ahead of the time. Thank you, Miguel, for being here.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.